Hi, welcome back. It's a new week. Well, it's not. I split this week into two because there is so much going on. And I'm just getting ready to go to my first board meeting. But not for my business. It's a boardroom that's been set up to bring female founders together for like 2 hours a month. I think that's the level of commitment to like discuss everything we're doing, what we're going through, and like come together to support one another. We've been given like prompt questions to think about before. The group of women that have been pulled together are just like people I'm obsessed with, some of my friends, some people I work with. One of the businesses I'm actually on the board for, also their founder, so that's amazing. And I just think it's such a good idea. I think network, community, and the people around you are make or break for like your mental state, but also the success of your business. It really is truly, I think, one of the things that the sooner you realise like the people around you are making or breaking your business, the more chance of success you're going to have. So yeah, I'm really excited to be going here, although my second vlog episode is coming out tomorrow and it's not finished, so I'm a bit stressed about that. But got up early, went to do Pilates, so got it out of the way, come back, got ready, and going to this. It's now 9:30. Yeah, gonna go to this, which is really luckily very close by, come back, hopefully be like rejuvenated, inspired, have all my problems solved by this incredible group of women, and then I'm gonna sit down and edit the vlog, and I've got one call this afternoon, so I'm just gonna like absolutely lock in for like 8 hours. The other thing I was gonna say, let me do my lips at the same time. The other thing I was gonna say is my episode on Lock-In by Happy Stack podcast came out last night, and I'm really excited by this because if I'm going to be 100% honest, I'll be 100% honest with you because it's the vlog, obviously. I'll be 100% honest. When you start doing podcasts, you get invited on more podcasts. It's kind of just how it goes. Like people see you as a podcast guest suddenly and they're like, oh my God, I want her on my podcast. I want her on my podcast. And it gets very repetitive. Of course, at the start, I would say it's all good practice. But what happens over time is started doing this new lip combo. I don't think you'll be able to see on here, and I'm loving it. Anyway, you sometimes don't see the return on investment when you've been on and had the same conversation over and over and over again. And when people don't take podcasting as seriously as I do, and sometimes interviews aren't great, like let's be honest, they don't listen, conversations can be dry. And for me, the criteria for going on a podcast and saying yes is one, it has to be video first, because I've got to be able to receive content from it for it to be like worth the time and energy of going on. Secondly, I will research the podcast and the interviewer cannot be following prescriptive questions. Like for me, that's not a stimulating conversation. Like I need you to listen and for us to have a good chat. And thirdly, I think the edit and the content does matter and it has to be good. So there are all the reasons why I said yes to going on Happy Stack. I saw their edits, I thought they were sick. Like honestly, so good. And they were doing things refreshingly differently. It's 3 guys in a pub with a full video setup, a roaming videographer, like everything just felt different. They have lapel mics, which I absolutely loved because it didn't feel like you were in a standard sterile podcast studio. And it just felt different and refreshing. And I was like, yes, I want to be a part of this. This is something I want to be a part of. And as a result, my energy during the record was so different. Like I had so much energy and I really enjoyed it, which matters. Like it really mattered. And I just wanted to highlight those few points. They're the things I think about when I'm going on podcasts. So if you're thinking about going on podcasts or if you have a podcast, everyone thinks podcasting is saturated because every podcast looks and feels the same. So don't make it look and feel the same. That's all I'll say. Let's go to this boardroom. I will see if I can take you with and show you some glimpses behind the scenes. Welcome to a new week. Thank you for being here. Hi.
You never do it because you'd be paralysed.
I've come back from the boardroom meeting with such incredible founders this morning, like founders, entrepreneurs. There was like Lucy started hair syrup, which is like the #1 viral brand on TikTok, I think she said. And then Nicola, founder of Click, and I'm on their board, so it was lovely to see her. Then like Isabel from Pearl Cosmetics. They were the girls I kind of knew, and then loads of new girls at this table, women I should say. And we just got to sit down for like 3 hours and basically discuss everyone's pain points in their businesses and how we could all help each other. And it's so empowering. I can't tell you how being around women who are on the same journey as you, it like makes you feel so seen and so heard. And we were talking about how you can lead with like empathy and kindness, and how hard it is to have the difficult conversations. Like, we're all just like, yeah, they're really difficult conversations, but how actually hard it is, and how there are ways and mechanisms to overcome the difficult conversations with like investors or employees or colleagues or whatever it is, and hiring, and how hard getting good hires is, and business stagnation, and like all of these things. And it was just so inspiring, and it reminded me that I need to be around people more often. But also, if you're building something and you haven't found your network yet, one, I really hope I can be part of your network by watching this. Like, I really hope I provide some of that comfort to you and you feel like connected and feel like you can see yourself on this journey too. Secondly, like, find those people. I was very kindly invited to this event, but people have reached out to me. I've reached out to people on social media over the last 5 years and just gone for coffees with people who look like they're doing similar things. You'll be surprised how many people are willing to go for a coffee because they're in the same boat as you. So very, very grateful to Cora who organised that. And then I've come back home and just finished a call, which ended up being an hour, with Mark, who you'll know by now. He's got a brand and business called My Brand Academy, and I've launched a subsection of his brand with him, like a new course within his own academy, helping employee ambassadors or creator ambassadors within businesses help grow their brands in a workshop delivery style. So it's called Launchpad. I'll leave a link in the description if it's of interest to anyone. But we're announcing that tomorrow. But we were just finalising and kind of soft launching it because we've already got a lot of people interested. So we're just going to grow a little wait list. It's neither of our like full-time things. It's something that we're sort of doing within our worlds. And I get to do it with him. He was part of like growing the Harry Potter franchise and like has helped these mega CEOs at like the biggest companies in the world establish their brands. I also understand content in ways where his focus is in like IP and franchise expansion and storytelling, and we just really complement each other really well. And I saw a massive gap in the market for employee ambassadors, and because every employee is essentially about an ambassador for your brand, and a lot of big businesses are having their employees like post on their behalf or amplify messaging or being encouraged to create their personal brand in the same way I was. But a lot of companies have no idea how to go about that or how to encourage their employees to do so, or do it within the brand guardrails, or what they should post about. So that's what we come in to do. We also do it for brands and businesses who have like long-term creators and long-term ambassadors who they want to invest in and help with their personal journeys. So I don't know, just putting an example out of thin air, if Adobe have an ambassador scheme, a community ambassador scheme, we could support the creators with their storytelling and their personal brand journey, but Adobe basically would pay for it because we don't want to charge the end user. So yeah, I'll leave a link if it's of interest to anyone, but that's something we're now working on, and we're going to be very sort of particular with the brands and businesses we work with. I can't believe it's 4:00. I've got to get into this. I'm now just looking in. Rest of the day I'm here editing the vlog that's going live tomorrow. Something Mark said on our call, actually, I'll just mention, is he very kindly, he was like, I watched all of your announcement, I watched all of your vlog and everything. And he was like, it's so clear to me what you're doing. He was like, it's so clear to me, you're building content and all of this content enables your story. And I was like, yes, thank you, that is what I'm doing. But that's when you know you're working with the right person, when he's like, I literally watched it and I was like, I completely get it. So building this has a direct link to creating inbound inquiries, whether it's speaking, whether it's new clients, whether it's creators, whatever it is. And I don't know the exact offering I want to offer to all of these people. And I don't know if I want to work with all of them. And I don't know if there's a product solution that I want to create or a piece of tech or whatever that is able to help all of them, or if I want to pick 2 creators and just work with them very intensely full time. I don't know the niche details of that, but it's enabling me opportunities to have those conversations. Can you tell I'm fired up from all of this stuff today? What I just want to say is I was just checking my phone, and I don't know if this is, it's not that deep, but I have this thing on Apple Mail where I only get like very few emails come through to my primary, and I haven't had an email from Indeed pop up forever, so I don't know why it's come through to my primary, but there have been so many signs in the last few days that I'm just like, just pay attention to everything. And it's a Indeed, job advert that I've been sent, and says, hi Grace, promo is seeking leaflet distributors to deliver flyers across London. And there was a time, like, I think the reason I was like, it stopped me in my tracks for a second, because I don't see these notifications ever. I didn't even know I was still subscribed to Indeed notifications. if I was at uni, so like 10 years ago, I would have jumped at that. I would have been the first person to apply. I think it's funny because I'm always like, oh, I didn't think I wanted to be an entrepreneur. Like, I didn't think that was my journey I was going to go on. I thought I just wanted to work with big businesses. But like, I was always so desperate to be working. Like, I was one of those people at school who was like, I did everything. I did swim teaching and lifeguarding, and like, I did everything that I could try and do on a Saturday to try and like earn money or build and create. I started Instagrams. I was just I tried to do all of the things, and I would have applied for any job. I worked at the door of a nightclub 12 till 3 a.m. just on the door, completely sober. I wasn't even a party girl. Like, I would drive there and drive back and work 12 till 3 a.m. It's just funny, isn't it? Like, I would have been so desperate for that job. And here we are, editing and telling you about it in a vlog. It's just funny. But yeah, I need to go get something to eat, and then I'm going to keep going. Burrito bowl secured. So yeah, I am going to edit the first few, and then I think from this week I've started taking like daily notes, so I'm going to be able to pass it over to an editor. Because as I've been told, this is probably not sustainable. Okay, see you when I'm done. Okay, locking in 3, 2, 1, and I'll see you on the other side. It's probably going to be dark in here. 3, 2, 1. I told you it would be dark. We're just exporting now in 4K. And it's 9:30. Thumbnails are done, title's done, description is done. Only thing that's not done is a social post for LinkedIn, which I've got an idea for, but I think I need to write it first thing in the morning. So, yeah, I need to get out of this chair now. I'll see you tomorrow. Good morning, happy Friday. We've just got week 2 of the vlog live. I think I got up at 7, got everything ready, wrote my LinkedIn post, which just actually, I knew it would just come to me in the moment. So I just like flowed, wrote a post, which actually felt really good. And now I am gonna go out for a walk because I've been like looking at the numbers for the last half an hour. I just need to like go, close the apps, listen to a podcast. I'm gonna listen to the Poppy founder on Emma Greed's podcast, I think it was. Because people reminded me that at the end of the podcast episode that came out this week that I did on Happy Stack, I said...
I mean, the whole thing with Alex Earl and Poppy and like selling for what it's sold for, like, I'm like, oh, maybe I could do something like that.
And it's actually something that I've written in my notes 1,000 times, and it's something I've been thinking about a lot, and now I'm like, maybe I should consider doing that. So I'm going to listen to the founder of Poppy because she's always very inspiring. And I'm going to go and do my Friday ritual without my boyfriend because he's gone on holiday without me. I know, incredibly rude. Yeah, I'm going to go do that and then come back because then I've got an afternoon of calls of interviewing potential candidates to work with me, which is crazy exciting. Croissant, emails, interview calls, Pilates, and hopefully wrap up the day by about 7 today and just have a chilled evening because I feel like I need that. One reflection on the vlog so far is when I'm editing, I wish I'd gone deeper. So there are moments where I talk and it's quite like surface level and I brush past a lot of things. And I wish I just go like really deep and just say exactly how I'm feeling and just like share the actual emotion. So that's what I'm going to work on more. But I will check in when I'm doing my interviews later because I've done probably over 100 interviews in my time. So I've learned a few things that I will run you through that I look for. We'll talk a little bit about hiring and the team I'm building. The team I think I need to build around me in order for this all to be a success. So yeah, we'll catch up later. I'm just scoffing down some geysers because this is what happens when I don't get callo for a week. Because I realise if I don't eat now, I probably won't eat till about 3:30. So this is lunch today, which is all good. They're delicious. It's 1:57. I'm about to jump on my first call with... I've got 4 back-to-back interviews today with people who are interested in supporting me on my creator journey in terms of content and, well, they're creatives themselves. Like their applications, their tasks have been incredible. So I'm so excited to speak with them. What I'll do afterwards is I will run through with you. I'm not going to eat this on, I don't know why I'm holding it. I will run through with you the sort of key questions that I always ask, the lookouts, and yeah, something that I do to always... What's hard sometimes is when you're not hiring full time and you're in startup phase, so it's one of your first hires, it's hard to get people to care about your business or your brand as much as you do. So I'll run through some things that I do for that. But yeah, I'm not going to have time now. You need to eat these in 3 minutes. Not me finishing that second interview, getting a notification on my phone being like, don't forget your Pilates class in 30 minutes. And I was like, I have forgotten, but I can't afford to get a third strike on my account because then I will be frozen, I think, from all classes. So classes in 15 minutes. Got to go do Pilates. Thank you so much, Grace, last night for booking that. Obviously when I was too tired to even think, because I saw an hour gap in my calls and thought, you know what she'll want to do? Pilates. It's true, I do want to go move my body because I was getting and starting to feel a bit sluggish. I will come back and I've got one more interview and then we're going to discuss hiring the team, who I'm going to bring in around me, and watch outs for hiring. Okay, I've just finished my last interview of the day and I am starving, so let's make some dinner, although you are obviously facing the opposite way to where I need to be for the light. We'll make it work. Excuse my... I gelled my hair back yesterday. Was it yesterday or was it the day before? No, yesterday. Meant to wash it out before I left the house. Forgot I had Pilates, so the white stuff you're seeing in my hair right now is gel, nothing else. But yeah, let's talk about interviewing and hiring. So when it comes to my team, obviously I'm solo right now, but knowing where I want to be in about 6 months' time and the size I want, the scale of what I want to build and the thing I want to build next, which we'll get onto, I know that I need to start looking now because that's how long the hiring process takes. And if I want someone to be prepared and ready for whatever the launch might be next year, they need to start about 3 months before. I've learned all of this from managing a team of, how many was it by the time I left? Was it about 10? But over the period of multiple years, I'd managed maybe like 15, 20 different people. And I know how long hiring great people takes, but I know how long hiring people to work in startup environment takes. And it's very different. If you're someone watching this who works in corporate, this is not going to be super relevant to you. But if you are small business startup founder vibes, then this will be more appropriate. So the number one thing I look for when I'm trying to hire for content social media people, but specifically to work in a startup environment, is they need to have a bias towards action. And that might surprise people because it's not a technical skill. It's more of like an inner trait or a personality trait or a life belief or a value. I guess you could broadly call it entrepreneurial spirit, but when I say bias towards action, I mean that if something needs to be done, they've already thought about it and gone and done it. And I think this actually goes across most roles starting in a startup. I remember when I started at Diary of a CEO, you were doing everything and anything and you had to be one step ahead of the curve. And to do that, you had to make shit happen. You need to be a solution-driven person who believes that everything is solvable and everything is figure-outable. And what I mean by that is you will make 50 calls. If we need a studio tomorrow, you will find a studio for tomorrow. If we need a videographer tonight, you best believe you're finding a videographer for tonight. If we need 5 edits in the morning, completely remade because the file was corrupted and we need to reshoot, we're reshooting then and there and we're going to figure it out. And above all else, above any job description, above any degree, I don't need a degree, above any technical skill, that's what I need. So that's what I always look for first of all. And there are a few ways I do that. I will do that by... there's a few little ways you can do it. So what I'll often do is I will create quite a broad task for whatever the role is. So it won't be super specific, but there'll be problem solving within it that will demonstrate to me if someone's sat back and just like not bothered, or if they've gone above and beyond to try and figure it out. And it doesn't mean that they can't ask questions. Like, absolutely encouraging people to ask questions. It just means that they haven't gone, that seems like a lot of effort, I'm not going to bother with that part. So there's like optional parts in a task, if that makes sense, and some are harder and some are easier. And it shows me if they lean into the challenge or not. I also give very tight turnarounds for my tasks because it's... And I totally get that that is not for everyone, and that's fine. It just helps me... That helps me weed out and choose who I want to work with better. So yeah, that entrepreneurial spirit is critical. I don't think you can expect anyone to ever care about what you're doing as much as you do unless you give them a piece of the pie. They still won't care as much as you do, but they will care almost as much. And what I mean by giving them a piece of the pie is 2 things. 1, in equity. So much more than a salary. A salary is transactional, equity is an investment. You're saying I'm investing in you and you're investing in me, and it's a two-way thing. The second thing is where you're going to offer me so much value, I want to offer you value in return. And what I mean by that is a learning opportunity, especially to people who I'm hiring who are younger. It's actually quite funny, these calls I'm doing. Everyone is a lot younger than me, and they make me feel really old, and I have to remind myself that I am also young. I'm still young, even though I'm 28. Even though I'm not 27 anymore, I'm still young. So yeah, I truly believe you have to give them a bigger stake or give them a bigger piece of the pie if you want people to go all in. If you don't need people all in, if you just need some admin and support and a few hours a week, that's fine. But if you need people to come all in with you on this journey and you expect them to stick around, you don't have huge amounts to give in the beginning. You don't have huge salaries. You don't have big fancy office spaces. You don't have all those other little things. You don't have free lunches or like all those things. So you need to think what you can offer as a long-term investment. So for what I'm building, I would give people a percentage of equity. Of course, that only comes after like you've got to pass probation, you've got to like prove your worth, but you know what I mean. I think it's important to be thinking like that. And then the way I interview is very conversational. I want to know that on a day-to-day basis, I can spend time with you, because when you're in a startup, that matters more than you think. And again, this is not for the big corporates. This is not for your 100th hire, for your 200th hire. Your first 5-ish people you hire around you are basically going to dictate the culture, because culture is people. It's not all the little perks and the fancy things. Like, it truly is the people. And I've experienced more times than one when you bring in one person who is not the culture and is not a cultural leader, and culture has to come from the top. It's like a virus, and it spreads very, very quickly, and it's toxic, and it can cause huge destruction in a very short amount of time. So I want to know about you. I want to know what you do in your free time. I want to know what's important to you. What are your values? We have that level of conversation, because I understand from the task, you've shown me some work, I get it. I know what I can bring to you as well, and I need to know what you are going to bring to me in the business. That's just a little look into how I hire for my first, or how I am hiring for my first few roles. At the moment, the role I'm sort of looking at is someone who can execute my content on a day-to-day basis, because while I'm looking 3, 6, 12 months ahead at the moment of where I'm going to be, what I'm going to be doing, it's very hard to do that and be in the daily content creation side of things. So I love social media, I love content creation, I love brand. I will never be far away from mine. I just need that person who I can throw the ideas around with. They can go and get on with most of it, and I can do the 20% or whatever's needed of my involvement. So they can do the editing, they can do the posting, they can do the scheduling, and they can come up with the ideas and they can run with it. And I can help them on their journey and they can help me. So that's the first role. What I will say when you're deciding on the roles is, what I've done for the last few weeks is, with my good old pal chatgpt, is written out everything I'm doing that day. So as it goes along, so I'll write at the start like what I'm doing that day, and then as it goes along, I'll actually write out the tasks. And I'll do two things. I'll write out if it's something that I've enjoyed or not, and then feed it into ChatGPT, and I will just give it all to ChatGPT, so in 2 separate chats. And in one, the one where I've said if it's joyful or not, I will say, for the last 2 weeks, I have shared a list of the things that have brought me joy and brought me haven't. Can you create job descriptions for all the areas that do not bring me joy? That's one way of doing it. The other way of doing it is just giving everything to ChatGPT and saying, as the business owner who wants to scale this to X in this number of years, what are the tasks in this day I should not be doing? What are the priority things to outsource? There's 2 ways of doing it. One's more like holistic and one's more practical. I've kind of done a combination of the both. So I know I'm outsourcing admin, I'm doing way too much admin, and I'm outsourcing daily execution of content, because for me, my revenue driving activities are almost all entirely based on content input to my system or content output to an audience. So I need to get the rhythm of content going in order to scale everything else. I will say hiring is really hard. Finding those right people takes a really long time. It's why I'm starting so far out from when I'm going to actually need them. That's the first thing. The second thing is, I truly, truly believe by hire slow, fire fast. I think if you do get it wrong and you do bring the wrong person in, firing fast is the kindest thing you can do for that person, because it's kind for you and it's kind for the person, and it's why it's so important in startup culture never to refer. I truly believe never to refer to work as your family. Although you can build the most intense relationships with people, and I'm so close to so many people who I serve the Diary of a CEO with, knowing that you're there to achieve a business outcome as opposed to And then building relationships might be a byproduct of that. Hopefully it's a byproduct of that. You're all there to achieve a business goal. You're a team, you're a high performance team. You're not a family. And the reason I say that is because you don't fire family, right? But you do fire people who aren't focused on that business goal in the way you intended them to be. And it's kind because you're holding them back from whatever they should be doing somewhere else. And every firing I've ever done, which I must have done, gosh, must have fired 5 people personally in my team. Every single one has gone better than I could have expected, because the reality is it is the kind thing to do, and they've then gone on and unlocked the thing they actually wanted to do. But yeah, I had some really good conversations today. What I'll also do after the interviews is I use AI to transcribe them, so I make sure that all the recording and notes is turned on. I'll then put the transcript into chatgpt to avoid any bias from me and say, are there any call outs or any concerns that I may have missed from this conversation that you need to flag, basically, as my, like, I say, like, pretend you're my co-founder. Are there any flags you see in reading this transcript following this interview? Because sometimes I think we can also get very caught up in the moment in calls of people's energy, and actually they might say something that when it's written down out of context, you're like, whoa, I didn't hear that, I didn't see that. So this is the stage I'm using a lot of AI, and this is how I use sort of ChatGPT at the moment as I'm building. So yeah, hope that helps. I'm gonna make some dinner. It's 7:30 and I'm calling it a week. Good morning, happy Monday. I'm just gonna go grab my water. It is technically Monday, which means it's a new week, but this is still the same vlog. And that's because I split up last week. There it is. I split up last week in the middle, a bit weirdly, because I've been trying to think about how I can tell storylines within a vlog, and this week like blended really nicely into last week. I'm just going to touch base now because I don't know how much of the next 2 days I'm going to film, mainly because they're super boring. This is like the reality behind the glamour and all the fun stuff. The end of the week, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday gets crazy, gets really fun. Monday, Tuesday, today and tomorrow, my routine looks like wake up, house chores, go outside, go for a walk, listen to a podcast, which is something I'm really trying to implement, get my steps in the morning, then basically sit at my laptop all day. I've got a big piece of strategy work that I'm delivering on Thursday, which I'm working through today and tomorrow, like 2 full days. I've started the groundwork and the foundations for it, but the actual like piece of work has to be created. That then I'm then going to Brussels on Thursday for the day to present. So it's like a 3-hour presentation workshop with like follow-up pieces, introductory pieces. So I've got to do that full piece of work, which I'm quite excited to like really dive into and do like a full-fledged piece of work. This isn't something like I'm offering publicly. This has come like privately on referral, behind the scenes. So I'm seeing if it's something I enjoy, and if it is, then it's something I will roll out as a service. I'm still figuring out what all my services are going to be. I actually spent a lot of time on the weekend, yesterday in particular, going back and forth with ChatGPT, like brain dumping everything I'm thinking about, all the possibilities and all the avenues I could go down, sharing all the inquiries I keep getting. So I keep having DMs about consultancy, like on repeat. So figuring out how I can offer consultancy that makes sense for me. But I'm currently completely obsessed. It's so dark when I put it this way. I'm completely obsessed with this M&S tomato bread topper. It's like Spanish crushed tomatoes. It's kind of like pan con tomato vibes. It feels like I'm on holiday. So yeah, it's not always glamorous. This next few days are definitely not going to be glamorous, and I'm not mad about it. I'm quite enjoying having like 2 days of a little bit of routine. The one thing I did want to come on here to say is that I deleted all my social media apps this weekend. I went completely cold turkey, and I think people think you can't do that when you work in this space, but like you absolutely can. And I would highly encourage people to do that, because ultimately, like, we know these apps are designed to be addictive, and I'm 100% addicted. Like, I'm addicted because I use it for work, but also because I'm in the algorithms, and I really enjoy it. But you do have to reset every so often to like check yourself, check who's actually in control, check if your thoughts are your thoughts or if your thoughts are because of what you're consuming on social media. And it's crazy how many times like my thumb went to click on the apps during the weekend. I created a notes app to track, and it's not good. So every so often I'll do it. I'll just like go completely cold turkey, especially after the last week where obviously I did the announcement last Friday, like a week ago on Friday. That week was crazy. My DMs were exploding. It was very overwhelming every time I checked my phone, like more followers, more this, more this, more this. And it can become very addictive. And I just have to check myself and be like, what am I doing this for? It's not for that. So like take a break, take a sec, take a beat. And obviously it means you come back like fresh with ideas. Your like dopamine comes. There's like dopamine spikes that social media gives you. And like, don't get me wrong, my whole livelihood is built through social media. I think it's a fantastic platform. I can't believe we have this free marketing tool that everybody can use and connect with. And there are so many pros, but like with everything, there are cons as well. So just have to check yourself every so often. I've got my pan con tomate, con boiled egg, which I left for too long because I forgot they were boiling, and a cup of tea. I've got to send a piece of brand partnership content off to the client, do a few urgent emails, and then I'm off all forms of communication and getting deep down into the strategy work and delivering this piece of work. Because I'm editing like 4 weeks before, so I'm 4 weeks ahead in real life than the vlog, because knowing that over the next 52 weeks there are going to probably be 4 weeks that I don't want to film, or something happens, or there's nothing to film or whatever. I give myself that buffer room, and that will probably slowly close the gap. I feel like so much has happened and so much has changed in such a short period of time. One of them being like me and my energy, and I just feel like I've got so much more clarity of thought, and I'm watching that like, oh my god, I don't even know if I want to share this because that's not even who I am anymore, but it was only 4 weeks ago. But it's so important to show like every stage of the journey. And I think hopefully you'll see that. Like, let me know, can you see that? Can you tell that like my energy's changed? And I think even like I feel less puffy. Like, I know that sounds ridiculous, but like I feel like healthier, and obviously I have more time now to be healthy. Like, I'm literally doing Pilates every day. I feel like I've got a different sense of energy. Okay, check in soon. Bye. I told you I wasn't moving. Very much deep in my strategy work. If you want to have a little glimmer of what that looks like, it's lots of writing. So this was kind of the work I did yesterday. And then I don't know if you're going to be able to see, but I basically do all my research. And then it ends up in many tabs in a big document. But yeah, essentially that results in big documents of all of my research and insights and everything. And then I slowly like refine it. It definitely took a minute to get into it yesterday, but now I'm like deep in it. It's midday. Yeah. It feels good. I was just coming to say, because I was like, oh, I'm not doing anything. Well, that's not true. I was like, I'm not doing anything of interest yesterday or today. But I forgot to mention, that our builders are starting at our house. So we went over at 7 a.m. this morning. However, 2 things. One, I realised that today is the exact day, August 5th, that we got gazumped on our flat last year. And I don't know if that's legal anywhere else in the world, but in England, basically what it means is once you've had your offer accepted on a flat or a house or a property, even if you have engaged with solicitors and lawyers and started paying people, you can be gazumped if someone who was previously introduced to the flat by an estate agent can come in and just like put another offer in, even though your offer's been accepted and you're moving. Like, you're very much going, you've paid money for stuff. So yeah, we got gazumped, which was really fun today in 2024. And then a year later, and like I was so deflated because we'd been looking for somewhere to live for ages. We really wanted to buy together. This was like the perfect flat in our eyes. We loved it. We completely fell in love with it. So it was really heartbreaking. And then yeah, a year later, we've decided we were going to do a full reno, found a house, had to go through probate, which was a really long process, got planning exchange completed, got planning permission, found a builder, and then it's been, yeah, I can't tell you how much goes into the process. Like, I'm so glad my boyfriend works in property because it's mind-blowing, and God, I would never be able to, well, one, financially, but two, mentally and emotionally be able to do this by myself. We went this morning, we're there bright and early, we're like, this is it, first day of building, woo! And our builder, we signed the contract, and he was like, so I'm going to start on Friday. And we were like, okay. He was like, feng shui. So he's Chinese, and he was like, so we checked the dates, and today is not a good day to start a project, start a build. Friday is a good day. And you know, like, I just looked on the most basic website. I was like searching for like dates in feng shui and what it means, and it literally is like, today, do not start building a house. Like, that's what it says. And then on Monday, which is when he's actually starting, so Friday he's like putting up the hoarding, but Monday he's starting, it's like I mean, I'm going to insert the screenshot I sent to my friends because it's mad. And now I'm like, I'm going to have to live my life by feng shui because I'm so here for the good energy and I'm so here for the vibes. Most people will be like, what the hell? I'm so here for signs. And I'm still figuring out like the content on all of that. Everyone's like, oh my God, you're going to do content of the reno. And I'm like, yeah, but that's actually really consuming. Like I filmed so much content. I just need to get editing it. I think I'll post it on TikTok. I will probably check in with you tomorrow because tomorrow's a lot of fun things happening. And then Thursday we're going to Belgium. You know what's so crazy is I just got a notification saying that ChatGPT has now you can now within ChatGPT within my subscription like use the agent model. And so I just thought I'd like take my slide deck. I've got essentially like a 3-page PDF with like all of the outlines of all of my slides on each one. And then I've just uploaded that into ChatGPT and it's showing me like in live time, which is so crazy, how the agent is building it into slides. It's the first time I've tried this, so let's see how it turns out. This is so crazy. Good morning. Ignore my crazy hair. I have once again run out of time because I clearly forget that my hair takes about an hour to do, not 20 minutes that I usually allocate. So I've just done my makeup in 7 minutes and I've got to get a brand partnership live and I've got to leave the house approximately 3 minutes ago to get to a coffee because we're leaving the house today. This is just for makeup purposes. Yeah, so I'm just gonna get this brand partnership post live. Obviously it's like already it's all been approved, so I literally just have to copy and paste and I have everything ready in a document. And then we are going for coffee with Alice from Mile Off, and then we are going to an event which has been put on by Bronte King to launch her new wedding pajama collection with a brand called Mika. So we're going to go along for the whole thing. I'm going to sort my hair out, pack my bag and be gone in the next 3 minutes and post this brand partnership. And then we'll catch up in the outside mart. Okay, and that is the brand partnership post going live. Left the flat, as you've probably seen in the little montage. Sunny day. I just had coffee, well, for being honest, peppermint tea and an apple juice with Alice from Mile Off, who is an incredible founder, someone who's inspired me for quite a long time. She's actually working in the offices at Flight Story, so I met her for a coffee around the corner while she's here because she's based in Dubai. Genuinely awful job of recording any of that event. To the point I completely forgot to even get you out of my bag, but I did switch on 4K on my phone, so I will try and insert some of those videos. Gorgeous event to celebrate the launch of Bronte King and Mika. Bridal, I think it's like wedding, well, it's like wedding pajamas, wedding, like get ready with your bridesmaid outfits, but also that you can wear like anytime, and they're super gorgeous. Yeah, I've been given the collection, so I'm gonna try that on when I get home, and like a really like lovely group of girls. So I'm just coming back over the river into trusty South London. I'm going to do about half an hour sprint in my inbox because there's some burning things I need to get back to, and then I'm going to finish my deck for a strategy session I'm presenting tomorrow, and then I'm going to try and do a second pass at the vlog for Friday, knowing that I'm probably going to have to do final tweaks on the train back from Brussels tomorrow. Let me know if you want to ever hear more about that side of things, like the creative influencer side of events. Okay, I'm going to go back to the flat now. Okay, can't lie, since coming in I have sat scrolled, posted some Instagram stories from the event, which actually takes me so much longer than it should. Picked up my dry cleaning and got a matcha because I suddenly felt so tired, and I'm going to regret this so bad because it's 5 PM and I can't sleep but I'm so tired and I've got so much work to do. I don't know if it's just really hot in here and I'm wearing a full-blown tracksuit. Might be the case, but I forgot that I hadn't, in the rush of like, well, just coming in, I forgot that I hadn't opened the like goodie bag, and so I thought we could go through that. And I just want to say a few more things about events like this, because I don't think everyone needs to be running influencer events for every launch, but I will explain why I think this one made sense and why it's a good idea. I did just start to open it, and then I thought, let's open it together while we chat. First of all, what I'll say is like details, like personalization and details. These guys have done so well. The branded details, and then I did just open to see what set I got, and I'm very happy because I got the gingham yellow play suit, and then these gorgeous. I'm actually going to wear this in South of France this weekend. I'm going to South of France this weekend for a holiday with my girls. They're like these little linen-y cotton sleep jumpsuit, but like rompers, and they're kind of like, there's such gorgeous quality, and the lace trim is so cute. Sorry, it's all in the details. Look how gorgeous. That is why an influencer event made sense, because what they did is they essentially bought, and it's funny because I read that after I just posted my Instagram story, and my Instagram story said celebrating girlhood, but my kind of girlhood because I'm surrounded by businesswomen or something like that. And it felt like being surrounded by sisterhood, and like that's what this represents. So if the event can emulate the essence of the product you're sharing, then it makes sense. It doesn't make sense just to throw a lunch which costs a lot of money and at great expense for the brand, if not. And I can't believe, obviously, Liv Jenkins D. Louise was there because she is actually getting married, and we got gifted the D. Louise. I mean, all my jewelry is D. Louise, as you know. A little tennis bracelet, which I've been looking at for so long. It's so gorgeous. And then look at this little shell clip with the diamantes. And there's so much. There's Charlotte Tilbury. There's a gorgeous, like, this is actually the softest thing I've ever felt. Eye mask. Candle, like so many good stuff. And a good PR event or a good influencer event has to embody the feeling of whatever you're trying to sell. It's a whole art. And so what was really interesting to like add to that is like Bronte and Michaela are both obviously businesswomen I mentioned before. So who they invited were, yes, people who are getting married, and then like businesswomen and female founders and people who are working in the brand world and people who care about the details. And like these guys sweat the small stuff, like the detail everywhere. It doesn't go over my head also how insane it is that I get to go and do these sort of things. And the idea that people are in the office working and I'm out for lunch, building my network, building my connections, marketing a product for people I believe in through my platforms. It's a pretty good life, and one I'm very grateful for. I'm going to do half an hour blitz in my emails, finish my deck for tomorrow, and then run through everything. I'll check in again later this evening. Hello, it is several hours later. It is now 8:20. Oh, it's 20:20. That is a very satisfying time. I'm surrounded by food and drinks. This is so overstimulating. Got my matcha, drank it, really made all the difference, so glad I didn't listen to myself who said don't do that. I've got water, I've taken all my jewellery off, so it's like surrounding me. Does anyone else get that? Like they can't work with all their jewellery on. But I just popped out to get some sushi, because I'm not actually starving, but I will be in like 3 hours if I don't eat something now. So just got some little sushi for dinner and some sparkling water, because if I haven't said already, I am completely obsessed. I'm nearly finished my deck, and this is probably, potentially, if it goes well, part one of a few different workshops we're going to do together. Yeah, I would say what I've enjoyed, because I'm documenting this journey about what I like and what I don't like, and what I want to do more of and what I want to do less of, is this client really wanted us to run through sort of case studies to understand where the opportunities are within organic social at the moment with different brands. And what it's allowed me to do is deep dive into like 5 really cool brands to look at their organic social strategy and understand what they're doing. And it's kept me really close to like brands. It's like given me an excuse to dive into what brands are doing and take the learnings. So I have really enjoyed that part of it, like staying close to tools, staying close to the learnings. Like we've looked, I'm not going to give anything away, but I've like done a deep dive into Currys, for example, who are deploying really like employee-centric content in Oatly, and I only just discovered, which I'm like probably the last one in the world to, their Fuck Oatly site, which is a time machine of all bad things about an oat drink company. Welcome to Fuck Oatly, a site devoted to helping out fans and the thousands of people who hate us better understand everything that's wrong with our company. And it's an entire website dedicated to like the hate they've received. And the reason that is so important is because they are willing to polarize in favor of their 20%. I've spoken about the 80-20% rule on here before, but Jane Werwin, the founder of Dermalogica, says you've got to piss off 80% to reach your 20%. And they are willing to go above and beyond to piss off the 80% in order to keep, retain and maintain their 20%. But yeah, just really exploring content, which I love to do. And it's actually given me this new appetite for brand social. And it's given me a load of ideas for myself. So it's been a really worthwhile pursuit. I would say I've enjoyed putting together this workshop. I would say it's quite time consuming. And I wonder if there's like better uses of my time to reach more people. But yeah, really enjoyed this client work. So I'm going to deliver this in Brussels tomorrow, which means I am getting a 9 o'clock Eurostar, I think it is. It's only an hour, 20 minutes to Lille, and then I need to get an hour cab from Lille, and then I'm doing the whole reverse journey back in the evening. So tomorrow's a big day. I will take you with me. I just want to say how nice it was to meet up with Alice from Mile Off this morning. And someone tagged me in a story yesterday saying, I listened to Grace on this podcast, and the thing that really stood out is how she kept talking about her friends who were founders. And this girl was saying, it's really notable in my life that I have all these friends, but none of them are founders, or none of them are building anything. And I need to find more of those types of people. Because I do really think you are the average of who you surround yourself with. But having people who are on the same journey as you, which is why I'm creating this content, so that people feel like connected and they feel like they're on this journey too. If you're on this journey, I think having friends who are founders and building stuff around me has been so critical in me seeing that as an opportunity and a path to pursue. I'm going to finish this deck, then try and go to bed at not a crazy hour. I'm going to finish this and I will see you on the Eurostar tomorrow to Lille.
Passengers, welcome to France.
I never ended this vlog. Hi from the future. I got back from Brussels super late. My train was significantly delayed. I worked on the vlog the entire way home, so actually thank God it was delayed because I needed that. And we got the vlog live, which was the most important thing. The workshop went really well. I then flew to south of France the next day and had 3 gorgeous days offline, even though it was just basically Saturday, Sunday, Monday, but it made all the difference. It was everything I needed. So it's really important to have time completely offline because it made all the difference. Seeing as we spent 90% of this week's vlog in this spot chatting, I thought we'd end the vlog in the same place. Crack open a cold one to celebrate another week. Obviously a cold one being a mammoth size of my head, sparkling water. I hope me sharing where I'm at with my hiring, how I'm hiring, my tips for hiring was helpful. If it was, please let me know in the comments. If you have any questions, please also let me know in the comments. I love reading all of your comments. I read every single one, every single week, and I try and get back to as many as I possibly can. The second ask I have, if you're still here, and only if you're still here, or you'll only be hearing this if you're still here. If you're still here, I've just been informed that there is a newish feature on YouTube called Hype, and it's only available to creators with under 1 million subscribers. That would be me. With my humble, what are we at? Nearly 6,000, which is still beyond my wildest dreams. And apparently, if you give me hype, if you press hype, which is just down below, it boosts my discoverability for a wider audience. And look, I'm not going to make you do it. You don't have to do it. It's free for you to do. I'd love you to do it, but no pressure. But if you did fancy if you've been here for a few weeks and you're like, yeah, I want to give this girl some hype, I think it'd be really cool to see if we could make this the most hyped video so far. Yeah, no pressure. Only if you want to. Only if you want to hype me up at the end of this video. It would mean a lot. It'd be really cool. And I'm going to sign off there. Thank you so much for being here. It means the world. And I will see you next week. Bye.